tired of just existing, feeling like you're constantly walking on eggshells? What if I told you there's a secret power hidden in plain sight that could set you free? A superpower that lets you live life on your own terms, unburdened by the constant need for validation. Stay with me, because today we're diving deep into a paradox that could redefine your strength and peace of mind. 1. The silent price of people-pleasing. You know, not everyone is going to like you, and truly, that's perfectly fine. Maybe it's something you said, a decision you made, or just the way you carry yourself. There will always be folks who disapprove. But here's the real kicker. Being disliked doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. In fact, it can be a profound sign that you're standing for something, living with purpose, and not just blending into the crowd. Imagine that for a moment. Every time you voice an opinion or chase a goal, you're bound to ruffle a few feathers. It's just part of being human. This freedom isn't a pipe dream, but a superpower waiting to be unlocked. A power often feared, yet capable of transforming your entire life. Today we're going to explore how to unlock the profound power of accepting being disliked by others, all through the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. We'll uncover why people might dislike us, how it truly affects us, and most importantly, how we can use Stoic principles to turn this common challenge into an incredible opportunity for personal growth. Whether you're navigating criticism at work, complex relationships, or just trying to stay true to yourself in a world saturated with social media judgment, this conversation is for you. We'll share insights from ancient wisdom and modern experiences, offering practical strategies you can use right away. By the end, you'll hopefully see being disliked in a whole new, empowering light. Are you ready to gain a superpower? Let's dive in. First, let's talk about why people might dislike us. It's a complex issue, but understanding its various facets can help us navigate it much better. Sometimes, it's simply because we're different. Maybe you've made an unconventional career choice, or your lifestyle doesn't quite fit the norm in your community. Think about those who dared to defy expectations, pursuing their passions even when many around them didn't understand or approve. Their willingness to be different often reshaped the world. Other times, it's because we've made a decision that directly affects others. Leaders often face this when they have to make tough calls for the greater good of an organization. Imagine having to choose between difficult options, knowing that no matter what you decide, someone is bound to be unhappy. It's an inescapable part of responsibility. And then, there are those moments when it's not even about us at all. People's dislike can frequently stem from their own insecurities, jealousies, or misunderstandings. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed to dislike you right off the bat, before you even had a chance to say hello? That's often more about their internal struggles than anything you've done. Now let's talk about how being disliked truly affects us. As social creatures, we're inherently wired to seek approval. When we feel disliked, it can hit us incredibly hard. It might make us doubt ourselves, feel anxious, or even want to change who we are just to fit in. Think back to your own experiences. Perhaps in your youth, when the approval of certain groups felt paramount. That constant worry about what others thought was exhausting, wasn't it? What's worse, for many of us, those feelings don't completely disappear as adults. We just get better at hiding them. Being disliked can significantly impact our self-esteem, our willingness to take risks, and even our physical health. Studies have shown that social rejection can activate the same areas of the brain as physical pain. That's right, being disliked can literally hurt. But here's the crucial twist. The real power isn't in avoiding the dislike, but in how you choose to respond to it. This is where the story truly begins to unfold. If you're finding value in this conversation, please hit that like button and subscribe to Stoic Marble. Your support helps us bring more ancient wisdom to modern life. 2. The Stoic secret to unbreakable strength. It's not all doom and gloom, though. The impact of being disliked also depends heavily on how we react to it. And this is where things get really interesting. Common reactions often fall into a few categories. Some of us might try to change ourselves to please others. We might tone down our personalities, hide our true opinions, or even give up on dreams that others don't approve of. It's like wearing a mask, constantly trying to be what we think others want us to be. Others might go the opposite route and become defensive or aggressive. They might lash out at those who dislike them, trying to hurt back. It's the "you can't fire me, I quit" approach to social interactions. Then there are those who withdraw entirely. They might avoid social situations, stop sharing their ideas, or abandon forming close relationships altogether. It's a way of protecting themselves, but it can unfortunately lead to loneliness and missed opportunities. But there is another, far more powerful way to react, turning being disliked from a weakness into an unparalleled strength. And this is precisely where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy that has been helping people navigate life's challenges for over 2,000 years. At its core, Stoicism is about focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't. It's not about suppressing emotions, but rather understanding them and choosing how to respond. When it comes to handling dislike, Stoicism offers a profoundly powerful perspective. The Stoics taught us that we can't control what others think of us, but we absolutely can control our own thoughts and actions. They believed that true happiness comes not from external approval, but from living according to our own deeply held values and doing what we believe is right. Think about that for a moment. What if your worth wasn't determined by how many people liked you, but by how true you were to your own principles? What if criticism became not something to fear, but a golden opportunity to examine yourself and grow stronger? One of the key Stoic principles profoundly relevant to our topic is the idea of voluntary discomfort. The Stoics believed in deliberately putting themselves in uncomfortable situations to build resilience. In our context, this might mean being perfectly okay with the discomfort of being disliked, knowing that it is actively making you stronger and more true to yourself. Another important Stoic concept is the dichotomy of control. This means clearly distinguishing between what we can control, our thoughts, actions and reactions, and what we simply can't, other people's opinions, external events. By focusing our energy solely on what we can control, we free ourselves from the tyranny of constantly seeking external approval. The Stoics also heavily emphasized the importance of self-reflection. They believed in regularly examining our thoughts and actions to ensure we are living according to our values. When faced with dislike, instead of immediately reacting, a Stoic approach would be to pause and ask, is this criticism valid? Does it align with my values? How can I use this as an opportunity to improve myself? What if the very thing you fear most, disapproval, is actually a hidden catalyst for profound personal evolution? The answer lies in ancient wisdom that is still shockingly relevant today. Let's look at a powerful real-life example of Stoicism in action. Consider the story of a Roman emperor who was also a renowned Stoic philosopher. Despite being one of the most powerful individuals in the world, he faced constant criticism and immense challenges. In his personal writings, later published as meditations, he often reminded himself not to be disturbed by others' opinions. He famously wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. This incredible attitude allowed him to lead effectively, make difficult decisions, and stay true to his principles, even when faced with widespread disapproval. He didn't ignore criticism, but he certainly didn't let it control him either. Instead, he skillfully used it as a tool for self-improvement and remained laser-focused on doing what he believed was right. So how exactly can we apply these profound Stoic principles to our own lives? How can we gain the true power of accepting being disliked? That's what we will explore in the rest of this journey. We will look at practical strategies for reframing dislike, building unbreakable resilience, and effectively using criticism for deep personal growth. Remember, the goal isn't to become completely immune to the feelings of being disliked. It's about learning to navigate those feelings in a way that makes us stronger, more authentic, and ultimately, more at peace with ourselves. Because at the end of the day, the most important opinion about you is your own. Stay with us as we dive deeper into this transformative journey of self-discovery and empowerment. You are about to learn a superpower that will serve you for the rest of your life. Now that we have laid the groundwork, let's dive even deeper into the sheer power of acceptance. Why is accepting dislike so paramount? Well, it's simple. You can't control what others think of you, but you absolutely can control how you respond to it. Think about it. How much energy have you spent trying to make everyone like you? How many times have you twisted yourself into knots trying to please everyone? It's exhausting, isn't it? And the kicker is, it never truly works. There will always be someone who doesn't approve. Accepting dislike frees you from this endless, futile chase. It allows you to focus on what really matters, living according to your values, pursuing your goals, and being authentically true to yourself. When you accept that not everyone will like you, you give yourself permission to be authentic, to truly be you. But here is where many people get stuck. They confuse acceptance with approval. Let's be crystal clear. Accepting dislike doesn't mean you enjoy it, or that you think it's okay for people to treat you badly. It simply means you acknowledge the reality of the situation without letting it control you. Imagine you are giving a presentation at work. You have prepared thoroughly, but you can see one colleague in the back row, arms crossed, clearly not buying what you are saying. Acceptance means acknowledging, okay, this person doesn't agree with me, and calmly continuing your presentation. It doesn't mean you must like their attitude or change your entire approach to win them over. Let's look at how an ancient Stoic figure masterfully dealt with profound criticism. Consider the story of a Roman statesman renowned for his unwavering moral integrity. He often faced harsh criticism for his unyielding principles in a time rife with political corruption. One day, while he was speaking in the Roman Senate, passionately arguing against corruption, a political rival became so enraged that he spat in his face. Now, in Roman society, this was one of the gravest insults possible. The entire Senate fell silent, waiting to see how he would react. What did he do? He calmly wiped his face and continued his speech. He didn't retaliate. He didn't fly into a rage, and he certainly didn't back down from his principled position. He accepted the reality of what happened without letting it derail him from his purpose. His reaction powerfully demonstrates the true strength of accepting dislike. He didn't let his rival's actions control him or distract him from what he believed was important. He maintained his dignity and focus by accepting the dislike without internalizing it. What if you could transform every negative comment every skeptical glance into pure fuel for your own unstoppable progress. It's not just possible, it's a strategy adopted by the most successful innovators of our time. 3. Turning dislike into your superpower. Now let's talk about how we can reframe dislike as an incredibly powerful tool for growth. It might seem counterintuitive, but criticism can be one of the most potent motivators for self-improvement when approached with the right mindset. Think about a time when someone criticized you. It stung, right? But after the initial sting wore off, did you ever find yourself thinking, well, maybe they have a point? That is the very beginning of using dislike as a tool for growth. Criticism forces us to examine ourselves. It challenges our assumptions and pushes us out of our comfort zones. When someone dislikes something about us or our work, it's an opportunity to ask ourselves, is there truth in this? Is there something I could genuinely do better? However, here's the crucial catch. Not all criticism is created equal. Learning to identify valuable feedback within criticism is absolutely crucial. Ask yourself, is this criticism specific? Is it actionable? Is it coming from someone whose opinion I respect? Or at least someone who has relevant experience? If the answer is yes to these questions, you might have found a golden opportunity for growth. If the answer is no, if the criticism is vague, unhelpful, or coming from someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, then you can acknowledge it and simply move on without letting it affect you. Let's look at a modern example of someone who used widespread dislike as an incredible tool for growth. Consider the story of a visionary entrepreneur in the early days of his groundbreaking companies. Both ventures faced intense criticism and skepticism. Many people disliked his unconventional style and thought his ideas were unrealistic, even impossible. Instead of being discouraged, he used this criticism to fuel his drive. He listened to valid technical critiques and used them to relentlessly improve his products. When people said electric cars couldn't be sexy or practical, he worked harder to prove them wrong. When they told him reusable rockets were impossible, he and his team kept innovating until they succeeded. He didn't let the dislike stop him. Instead, he masterfully reframed it as a challenge to overcome, a problem to solve. And in doing so, he revolutionized not one, but 2 industries. Now, I'm not saying you need to revolutionize an industry to use dislike as a tool for growth, but you can apply the exact same principle in your own life. Next time you face criticism, try to look at it objectively. Is there something you can learn from it? Is there a way you can use it to become better? It sounds simple, but what if a few subtle shifts in your daily habits could build an emotional shield so strong that external negativity barely even registers? The secret is in the practice, not the theory. 4. Practical tools for unshakable resilience. Let's move on to some practical strategies for handling negative opinions. Because let's face it, knowing something in theory is one thing. Putting it into practice when you're face to face with disapproval is another entirely. First up, developing emotional resilience. This is your ability to bounce back from negative experiences. It's like building an emotional muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. One powerful way to build resilience is through what psychologists call reframing. This means consciously changing how you think about a situation. For example, instead of thinking, "This person dislikes me, I must be awful," try thinking, "This person's opinion is just one perspective. It doesn't define me." Another incredibly effective technique is to practice self-compassion. Often, when people dislike us, we become our own harshest critics. But what if you treated yourself with the same kindness you would show a good friend? Instead of beating yourself up, Tell yourself, this is a tough situation, but I am doing my best. I will get through this. Next, let's talk about setting and maintaining personal boundaries. Boundaries are the essential limits you set on how others can treat you. They are crucial for maintaining your self-respect and significantly reducing the impact of others' negative opinions. Setting boundaries means saying no to unreasonable requests, speaking up firmly when someone treats you disrespectfully, or deciding what level of criticism you want to engage with. Remember, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. For example, suppose a colleague constantly criticizes your work in a non-constructive way. In that case, a boundary might be saying, I am open to specific, actionable feedback, but general negative comments aren't helpful. Can we focus on concrete suggestions for improvement? Practicing mindfulness and self-reflection is another powerful strategy. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment and intensely aware of your thoughts and feelings without judging them. When faced with dislike or criticism, mindfulness can help you observe your reactions without being controlled by them. Try this. Next time you feel the sting of someone's disapproval, pause. Take a deep breath. Notice how you feel, the emotions, the physical sensations. But don't judge these feelings or try to push them away. Just observe them. This simple act of mindful awareness can help create a vital space between the trigger, someone's dislike, and your response. Self-reflection goes hand in hand with mindfulness. It's about regularly checking in with yourself. What are your core values? Are your actions aligned with these values? When you are secure in who you are and what you stand for, others' disapproval loses much of its power. Now for a moment of truth. Think of a time you truly felt disliked. What if, right now, you could transform that memory from a source of pain into a blueprint for your future strength? 5. Your power in practice. A transformative exercise. Now let's have an interactive moment. I want you to pause and reflect. Think about a recent situation where you felt disliked or criticized. Got it? Okay. Now let's work through it together. First, notice how you feel when you think about this situation. Where do you feel it in your body? What emotions come up? Just observe these sensations without trying to change them. Now let's reframe this situation. Instead of focusing on the dislike, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Is there any truth in the criticism that I can use to grow? If not, can I use this as an opportunity to practice standing firm in my values? Next, set a boundary. What is a healthy limit you could set in this situation? How could you communicate this boundary respectfully but firmly? Finally, show yourself some compassion. Say to yourself, this is difficult, but I am doing my best. I am learning and growing from this experience. How do you feel now? A bit different, right? This is the power of these strategies. They don't make the dislike disappear, but they fundamentally change how you relate to it. They put you back in control. Remember, handling negative opinions is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. You won't be perfect at it overnight, and that is perfectly okay. The goal isn't to never feel hurt by dislike or criticism. The goal is to build resilience, learn from the experience, and stay true to yourself despite disapproval. As we move forward, we will explore how to apply these strategies in specific real-life situations, from workplace conflicts to social media interactions. We will also look at the profound long-term benefits of embracing dislike. Because here is the truth, learning to accept being disliked isn't just about defending yourself from negative feelings. It is about freeing yourself to live a more authentic, purposeful life. The best is yet to come. What if the very challenges that test your spirit, workplace critics, family doubts, online trolls, are actually the perfect training ground for your ultimate freedom? Let's see how. 6. Navigating disapproval in everyday life. Now that we've explored the power of acceptance and some practical strategies, let's see how these ideas play out in real life. We'll look at 3 common areas where we often face dislike or disapproval: the workplace, personal relationships, and social media. Let's start with the workplace. Imagine you're in a team meeting, passionately presenting a new idea you're excited about. As you're speaking, you notice a colleague rolling their eyes. After the meeting, they pull you aside and say, "That's never going to work. You're wasting everyone's time." Ouch, right? But let's apply what we've learned. First, accept the reality. This person doesn't like your idea. That's okay. It doesn't mean your idea is terrible or that you are incompetent. Next, look for any valuable feedback hidden in their criticism. Is there a specific concern you could address? If not, that's fine too. Now, set a boundary. You might say, "I appreciate you sharing your concerns. In the future, I would find it more helpful if you could provide specific feedback during the meeting so we can discuss it as a team." Finally, reflect. Are you still confident in your idea? Does it align with your values and what you believe is best for the company? If so, don't let one person's disapproval deter you. Use it as motivation to refine and improve your proposal. Moving on to personal relationships, let's consider a family scenario. You've decided to pursue a career in the arts, but your parents strongly disapprove. They wanted you to become a doctor or lawyer. This situation is trickier because it involves people you care about deeply. Start by accepting their disapproval without letting it define you. Understand that their opinion likely comes from a place of concern for your future. Next, look for the underlying issue. Are they worried about financial stability? Job security? Address these concerns directly. You might say, "I know you're worried about my future. I have researched this career path, and here is my plan for building a stable income." Set boundaries around how this topic is discussed. For instance, "I value your opinion, but I need you to respect my choice. Can we agree to not argue about this during family gatherings?" Remember, it's entirely possible to love someone deeply and still disagree with them. Your career choice doesn't have to damage your relationship if you approach the situation with understanding and firm, respectful boundaries. Now let's tackle the wild west of social media. You post a photo of yourself at a political rally, and suddenly your notifications are flooded with angry comments from people who disagree with your views. First, breathe. Accept that in the vast world of social media, you will inevitably encounter people who dislike your views. That's not a reflection on you. It's the very nature of the platform. Next, decide which comments, if any, are worth engaging with. Is there an opportunity for constructive dialogue? If so, respond thoughtfully. If not, it's perfectly okay to ignore or delete hostile comments. Remember, you are not obligated to engage with every opinion thrown your way. Set clear boundaries for your social media use. You can limit the time spent reading comments or even turn off comments on specific posts. You could also curate your feed to create a more supportive online environment. Reflect on why you are sharing in the first place. Are you expressing your values? Raising awareness for a cause you believe in? If so, let that purpose ground you in the face of disapproval. In all these scenarios, staying true to yourself while navigating the complex social world around you is key. It's a balancing act. But with practice, it becomes easier. What if the loudest voices of disapproval outside your head are simply echoes of the hidden doubts within? Cultivating inner peace isn't about silencing them, but changing how you listen. 7. Your inner sanctum. Cultivating peace amidst the storm. Now let's talk about cultivating inner peace amidst external disapproval. It's here where the real action takes place. It's one thing to handle individual instances of dislike. It's another to maintain a profound sense of inner calm when faced with ongoing disapproval. The first crucial step is to focus intensely on your personal values and integrity. What do you stand for? What principles genuinely guide your life? When you are crystal clear about your values, external opinions have significantly less power to shake you. Think of your values as an internal compass. When faced with disapproval, check your compass. Are you acting in alignment with your values? If yes, then you can feel secure in your choices, regardless of what others think. For example, if one of your core values is honesty and you receive criticism for telling an unpopular truth, you can find peace in knowing you acted with integrity. The disapproval might still sting, but it won't devastate you. Building a supportive network is another crucial aspect of cultivating inner peace. Surround yourself with people who genuinely uplift you and who appreciate you for who you are. This doesn't mean creating an echo chamber where everyone agrees with you. Instead, seek out people who can disagree with you respectfully and challenge you to grow while still supporting your fundamental worth. Your supportive network can be a safe harbor in stormy seas of disapproval. You can turn to these people when you need reassurance, who can remind you of your strengths when others are focusing on perceived weaknesses. Let me share an Eastern philosophical tale about inner peace. There is a Zen story about a monk who was renowned for his profound inner calm. One day, a fierce warrior came to challenge him, hurling insults and trying to provoke the monk into a fight. The monk listened calmly, then asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The warrior, confused, replied, "The giver, I suppose." The monk smiled and said, "Exactly. And it is the same with your insults and anger. I choose not to accept them. They remain yours." This story beautifully illustrates the immense power of choosing our reactions. The monk's inner peace wasn't dependent on the warrior's approval. He recognized that he had control over his responses, not the warrior's actions. We can apply this wisdom in our own lives. When faced with dislike or disapproval, we can choose whether to accept it into our inner world. This doesn't mean ignoring valid criticism or never feeling hurt. It means recognizing that we have the power to decide how deeply we let others' opinions affect us. Cultivating this inner peace is a lifelong journey. It is not about reaching a state where nothing ever bothers you. It is about developing the unwavering ability to return to your center, your inner calm, even when the world around you is chaotic. This isn't just about managing negativity. It is about unlocking your truest self. What if embracing dislike is the fastest path to becoming the most authentic, confident, and resilient version of you? 8. A life transformed. The long-term rewards. Now, let's look at the incredible long-term benefits of embracing dislike, because make no mistake, learning to accept being disliked isn't just about defense. It is about opening yourself up to a more authentic, confident, and resilient life than you ever imagined. First, let's talk about increased authenticity and self-confidence. When the desperate need for universal approval no longer drives you, you are finally free to be your true self. You can express your genuine thoughts, pursue your real passions, and live according to your actual values, not the values others think you should have. This authenticity naturally leads to far greater self-confidence. Why? Because you are no longer trying to be someone you are not. You are not constantly second-guessing yourself, wondering if this action or that comment will make someone dislike you. Instead, you are standing firm in who you are. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they are not people-pleasers. They are individuals who stand for something and who are not afraid to be disliked for their beliefs or actions. That is the kind of deep, unwavering confidence you develop when you fully embrace the possibility of being disliked. Next, embracing dislike leads to significantly improved decision-making skills. When you are overly concerned with being liked, you might refrain from making necessary but unpopular decisions. You might choose the safe option over the right option. But when you accept that dislike is sometimes inevitable, you free yourself to make decisions based on what you truly believe is best, not what will ruffle the fewest feathers. This leads to better outcomes in the long run, both in your personal life and in professional settings. For instance, a manager who is comfortable with being disliked can make tough but necessary decisions to keep a project on track. A parent who is okay with temporary disapproval can set important boundaries that genuinely benefit their child in the long term. Finally, embracing dislike dramatically enhances your resilience in the face of adversity. Every single time you stand firm in the face of disapproval, you are building emotional strength. You are proving to yourself that you can handle discomfort and stay true to your values, even when it is difficult. This resilience serves you in all areas of life. It helps you bounce back from setbacks, persist in the face of challenges, and maintain your composure in high-pressure situations. It's like building an emotional immune system. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. Consider someone who has learned to embrace the dislike of pursuing a long-term goal, like starting a business or writing a book. They will inevitably face criticism and setbacks, but because they are not devastated by every negative opinion, they can persist where others might give up. They can take useful feedback and let go of the rest. In essence, embracing dislike doesn't just change how you handle disapproval. It changes who you are. It transforms you into a more authentic, confident, decisive, and resilient human being. It allows you to live life on your own terms, to pursue what truly matters to you, without being held back by the debilitating fear of others' opinions. And here is the beautiful irony. When you are no longer desperate for everyone's approval, you often end up earning genuine respect. People are drawn to authenticity and quiet confidence. By embracing the possibility of being disliked, you become the kind of person others truly admire. Someone who stands for something and isn't swayed by every passing opinion. As we wrap up this section, I want you to imagine the person you could be if you fully embraced this mindset. Imagine the goals you could pursue, the stands you could take, the life you could lead if the fear of being disliked no longer held you back. That is the power we are talking about. That is the transformation that is possible. And in our final section, we will talk about how to start making this profound shift in your own life, starting today. 9. Your superpower awaits. The call to action. We've journeyed through the challenging terrain of acceptance, growth, and inner peace. Now let's bring it all home. Remember, as the great Roman philosopher Epictetus profoundly said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your true power lies not in controlling others' opinions, but in mastering your responses. Imagine waking up tomorrow, fully embracing this Stoic superpower. You step out into the world, no longer shackled by the fear of disapproval. You speak your truth, pursue your passions, and stand firm in your values. Sure, not everyone will like it, but you know what? That is perfectly okay. As Theodore Roosevelt powerfully put it, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. You are choosing to be in the arena. You are choosing to live fully, authentically, and purposefully. And that, my friends, is true freedom. This journey doesn't end when this video does. It is a daily practice, a lifelong commitment to growth and self-mastery. There will be challenges. There will be days when the sting of disapproval feels almost too much to bear. In those moments, remember the timeless words. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength is within you right now. You just need to cultivate it, and you don't have to do it alone. So, here is my challenge to you. Take one thing you have learned today and put it into practice. It could be setting a boundary, reframing criticism, or simply pausing to check your inner compass before reacting to disapproval. Whatever it is, commit to it. Do it consciously, intentionally. Then, come back and share your experience. Comment below. Engage with fellow travelers on this Stoic path. Your story could inspire someone else to take that crucial first step. If you found value in today's video and are ready to dive deeper into Stoic wisdom and practical philosophy, hit that subscribe button. Join the Stoic community. Let us build resilience together. Let us cultivate inner peace together. Let us revolutionize the way we navigate this complex, sometimes harsh, but ultimately beautiful world. Remember, in the words of Seneca, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So let go of the imagined weight of universal approval. Embrace the liberating power of accepting that you might be disliked. And in doing so, step into the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. This is where true power lies. This is where real life truly begins. Thank you for joining me today. Stay stoic, stay strong, ready to truly unlock your inner strength. Don't miss out on more transformative insights from Stoic philosophy. Subscribe to Stoic Marble now and join a community dedicated to building resilience, finding inner peace, and living an authentic life. Your journey to an unshakable self starts here.